These things were not really fighters. They were scouts. They were for doing reconnaissance. They did photography and this and that out of them. A lot of them were not armed. But then later on they started putting machine guns on them. This is a Vickers copy of a Vickers 303 machine gun that was used back in that era. It was timed with the props so that the bullet didn't actually shoot the prop off. There was a cam on the prop, and that operated a lever which cut out the machine gun when the prop was getting ready to come around to the point where it was going to shoot a hole in the prop. But these were used by the British throughout World War I. A lot of them were used as trainers also. So you can look back at some of the old books and see these things. They look like circus wagons. Basically they would put a lot of colors on them so they were really visible. So that's when you see the checkerboards and the stripes and all that stuff. But these things mostly lasted about 3 weeks from the time they got them out in the field.
This airplane is an L3 made in Middletown, Ohio. It was delivered to the Army Air Corps back in 1942, August of 1942.
We went to Alaska, and it took us 40 hours going and 40 hours flying time coming back. And we had it was just a fantastic flight, flying from Montana, and then we went along the Alcan Highway and stopped at all these old towns and refueled and stayed overnight, and then until we got into Alaska. And it took us, as I said, 20 hours, but just those old towns, it was just beautiful, absolutely beautiful.
It's an Aranca L3. It was used during World War II as a liaison airplane, originally designed for spotting for the artillery. People ask me whether or not wasn't it easy to shoot down. The answer to that is that if the pilot of this airplane saw the muzzle flashes of anything firing up at him, about 60 seconds later there'd be about 50 artillery shells landing on that spot. And so the answer is no, not many people shot at it. So it's a great airplane to fly. We fly out of Jamestown, Ohio, and we enjoy this.
This is a 1947 Piper PA-11. There were probably about 600 of them built. It was restored about 10 years ago, and I keep it on my farm over in Arcanum, Ohio. And I fly it, and my 19-year-old son flies it.
This is a HATS biplane. It's plans built. I built this airplane in the 80s. I finished it in 1990, so it's been flying 25 years now. I keep it on a farm in Yellow Springs. It was designed in 1959. It's a scaled-down Waco type of design, and John Hass designed it. He scaled the Waco down and used a more modern engine on it and made a small sport plane out of it. Weighs about 800 pounds and goes 85 miles an hour.
This is a 1939 Fairchild F-24. It was originally bought brand new by a silent movie star, Buddy Rogers, and he owned it for quite some time. And then a family in Springfield bought it about 20 years ago, and they flew it for a number of years. And then they donated it to our museum about 4 years ago. And we had it on display for about 3.5, 4 years, and then this year we got it flying, and we're taking it around to different air shows and stuff to display the airplane and try to take some of its history.
I was in the Navy, stationed out in Groton, Connecticut, and there was an ad in the paper. said free introductory flight lesson. Well, let me tell you, it wasn't free.